Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person that committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll let you know we'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning. That is your bail or bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already, pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, with a warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear affirm, tell truth, whole truth, none but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Karen McManus. Morning, Karen. Date of birth?
Good morning. 8/10/61.
All right. So, Karen, we have this violation of probation warrant that we talked about yesterday. As to that charge, you want to have the public defender, I believe?
Yes, sir. I'm currently attending the Academy of Dog Grooming Arts and Science through vocational rehabilitation. To get off SSI, I would ask for a bond to continue my education at this time.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're not going to get a bond this morning, but I'm going to move your case up. I think yesterday we set everything for the 10th. I'll move them up, this case, to the 22nd of March. The other case, the new case, which is 18MM668, I'll also move to the 22nd of March. I'll leave the bond on this at no bond. Public defender, come see you. And if there's a way we can get this resolved and get you out on the 22nd, that's when we'll do it, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Judge, what was the 322 is my next pretrial day. Yeah.
What was the case number?
Oh, is 18MM668. Right. Sorry.
That's all right.
Krista Melcher. Morning, Ms. Melcher.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. What's your date of birth?
2/6/87.
All right. Krista, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on a charge of felony driving on a suspended license. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I was appointed a public defender.
Okay. Continue the appointment of the public defender. Judge Merritt has set your bond at $10,000. I can't change that. We'll have you back in front of him on anything before the 3rd of April. It seems like a long way.
Sir, if you don't mind, I have an open DCF case plan that I'm actively, I'm in the middle of completing. I have classes weekly, and my court date was due to be today, and I was never notified that they switched it for one day prior to today. I had no idea that I was supposed to be in a court. I was supposed to be there today, sir. That's what my paperwork says.
Okay.
I never got
Krista, hang on a second. Here's the situation that I find myself in. I'm looking at an original warrant signed by a circuit court judge in my circuit that says you failed to appear. I can't do anything about that other than tell you about the warrant, which is what I just did. I am going to move your date up to the 20th of March. I can't change the bond because that's for Judge Merritt to deal with. So you'll be back in court on the 20th of March. If you're not able to bond out, the public defender will come see you there at the jail. If you can bond out, you should contact him right away, okay?
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
what was the day that they're saying that I failed to appear on?
March 6th, yesterday.
Okay,
Or day
and
before,
does it say
Tuesday.
does it say anything on there about the original March 8th court date?
Nope, you already know everything that I know about your case, which is there's a warrant. So you'll have to talk to the PD or talk to Judge Merritt because you know more than me. Thank you. Joseph Brown.
Your Honor, he's at the felony court.
Oh. So you can find Joe Brown. Robert Carr. Morning, Mr. Carr. What's your date of birth?
2176.
Mr. Carr, you're hearing a warrant also signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on Tuesday on a charge of burglary of a dwelling and grand theft motor vehicle. As to those charges, are you representing yourself? You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
We'll appoint the public defender. Judge Merritt sets your bonds on these at no bonds. As you just heard me explain, that's not something I can change. I will change your date. I'll send you back to see Judge Merritt on March 20th. Public defender is going to come see you before then, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Daryl Cockfer?
Good morning, Judge Hinton.
Morning, Daryl. As you know, we have now this violation of probation warrant that I signed, so I already found probable cause for the VOP. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself, going to hire private counsel, would you like the public defender?
I was going to see, is there any way, Judge Hinton, is there any way maybe I could resolve this today? Because I just got offered a job. When I got out for I paid my whole disability check for like a 7-day. I knew I was going to come back to jail when I went on yesterday. So I paid to get out of jail, and I kind of got a job offer from Bowen Moen on US 41, and it's hard for me to get jobs because I got felony, and I'm just trying to get my life together. I'm trying to see if you can offer me any.
I don't know. Ms. Nettie, what's the offer on the VOP?
60 days.
It's 60 days right now, Daryl, and did you have another open case? Do you have another open case?
I guess I believe that was the reason.
There's no way that I could get my probation reinstated with drug tests and all of that for a year. I helped my mom with the bills and stuff with my disability check, and I'm sorry.
See, I thought he had an open.
He got a new charge.
It's an MM, 18
It was
MM.
one about February 17th.
680.
For assault.
And that, that's right. We went over that yesterday. And that's coming back on the 22nd.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Daryl, there's nothing I'm going to do this morning. You need to talk to your lawyer. I've got you coming back in a little less than 2 weeks. So I'm going to appoint the public defender. Both your cases will be back here on the 22nd of March. My guess is we may have a resolution then, but I need them to talk to you so I can get all the details about what's going on in your life, all right?
So if I accepted the 60 days today, this case would be done?
Well, there's no reason for you to accept the 60 days because you're going to be back in front of me in 13 days, and if your PD can get you 30 or something better, then you should wait and see what they can do, okay?
Yes, sir, and there's no bond, right?
There's no bond until we'll see you back on March 22nd. Both your cases will be in front of me. By then, your lawyer will have come out to see you, and we'll see what we can do, okay?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you. Daniel Coulter. Morning, Daniel. What's your date of birth?
8/21/58.
Daniel charges driving under the influence. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Point one, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
This is the only.
I'm sorry, sir?
Hang on. Go ahead.
This is the only Florida history with the defendant as a multi-source offender. In Pennsylvania, there's a 1977 controlled substance, drug device, and cosmetic act violation. Went to prison for it in 1977. A driving while license suspended, and a DUI. Says conviction, pled a guilty plea in a 94 resisting arrest, criminal mischief, disorderly conduct with no disposition, a public drunkenness, no disposition, a 2007 DUI, no disposition. Other than that, Your Honor, there's no disposition.
Okay. And Daniel, I have an address for you on Emerson Road in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
I'm sorry, sir?
You live on Emerson Road?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long you been there?
We just bought the place.
Okay. You planning to make Florida your home?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have a job down here?
I'm on disability.
Okay. All right. Daniel, I'll set your bond at $500. I'm going to have you back in court on the 4th of April. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Donald Pruitt. Morning, Mr. Pruitt. What's your date of birth?
3760.
Mr. Pruitt, you're here on 4 charges this morning. I have a battery being domestic in nature, possession of methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for all those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
Yes, Your Honor. Showing a drug battery that was in 2004 and a driving while license suspended, guilty convicted out of 2007. A probation violation reference in 2012. And other than that, Your Honor, there's a theft out of Georgia in 1986.
And Mr. Pruitt, I have an address for you on Shoreline Boulevard. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
A little over 8 months.
All right. And does Miss Fisher live there too?
She was, but she's probably not now.
Okay. You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm remodeling that motel.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond on the battery at $500, on the meth at $2,000, on the marijuana and the paraphernalia at $500 each. So your total is $3,500. Condition of the bond on the battery is that you have no contact with Miss Fisher until we get this case resolved. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media. You don't have a third person contact her. Don't go where she lives. Don't go where she works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants to contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That is not a decision she gets to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She may tell them she's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who will be handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you at the jail today up until 4 p.m. so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. It's very important that if you get that civil injunction that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. I'm going to have you back in court on the 3rd of April. Very important, Mr. Pruitt, that you contact the PD's office when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You got it, Joe. Morning, Mr. Brown. Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear firm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Just state, give me your date of birth, Joe.
10/10/82.
Joe, you're here this morning on a warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for 3 charges. Organized fraud, fraudulent use of personal ID, and unlawful possession of personal ID. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like the public defender?
I have private counsel.
Private? Okay. And does your private counsel know this was coming?
Yes.
You guys talked about it? Okay. And you're here for a pretrial today on your open case.
Yeah.
Okay. And state what's Joe's history.
Showing out-of-state history, a fraud and related activities in 2002, no disposition. That's out of New York. And I'm showing an out-of-state history from New York as well, from possession of a controlled substance, a disorderly conduct. It says convicted upon pleading guilty 2010. Another disorderly conduct. And then I have some North Carolina history, financial card fraud, possession of manufacturer fraudulent ID, obtained property by false pretenses, identity theft, no disposition. I do have an identity theft. It says there was a jury trial with a guilty verdict. Other than that, Your Honor, I don't see any other history.
Joe, I had an address for you on Ivydale Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the bonds per Judge Merritt's warrant, which are 25, 25, and 5 respectively, for a total of 55. And then we'll send this downstairs right away this morning, so this will be downstairs with the other case, so they can track together if that's appropriate. All right?
Okay.
All right, very good. Thank you.
I'll let them know 11 o'clock for in custody.
Right, I got it. And do we have Jeffrey Hutchinson there today? Morning, Mr. Hutchinson. What's your date of birth?
Good morning, 5/28/71.
All right, Mr. Hutchinson, apparently yesterday morning Judge Rupi was concerned about the probable cause affidavit. They have submitted an amended probable cause affidavit that does establish probable cause for this charge, which is a battery. Judge Rupi did set you a bond, however, yesterday. I'll find that bond is appropriate. I'm going to leave it at the $2,500 she set, and it looks like you'll be back on the 4th of April, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And then 11 o'clock for my custody, if you please.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.